Man, no man, and every man for himself. There are some things about living in Nigeria that make you dependent due to a dysfunctional society and lacking in independence due to the absence of a welfare system. I once spoke of how I worked various jobs when I was living in Yankee, also known as the United States of America. And from working as a waiter to janitor to bartending to cleaning toilets, etc., etc., etc. I was able to do all these jobs as a student in need for some extra cash and also for independence. Whereas, what would be the equivalent of such a situation in Nigeria? I beg to ask. How would a young person with no connections make a few extra naira? Even in the music industry, there isn't a framework for artist development. There is no provision or welfare structure to support those who are without cash or connections and facing the crisis. How much more when the emergency you are faced with is a health emergency? How much more? Are we to speak of the critically ill patient who resorts to cheaper options prescribed by quacks, or is it the hospitals that refuse to treat patients until the bill is paid? I mean, I have had to go through that personally, and I can tell you that there are a whole lot more many cases of malpractice due to negligence. It can be like hell on earth. We sometimes feel immune to the hell until we find ourselves in it. I recently spoke of my experience of herniated disc, which causes a acute sciatica. I would like to call it acute. And that rendered me paralyzed on my right side for 5 days at once, and another time more recently for 7 days. This is part of the reason why I had to leave Nigeria to seek medical care. What of the majority who don't have that option, but live and die in a system that has no safety net for those who have neither cash nor connections? I say it's time we spend more of our energies building a welfare state beyond NGOs and unfruitful government interventions. Let those who have begin to think of how to support those who don't in long-term and sustainable ways before we find ourselves at the mercy of the merciless nation called Nigeria. We owe it to ourselves to be our brother's keeper, and our brother may turn predator when the backs are against the wall. Think about that.